What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Spirit Lab. My name is Chris, where I intend to increase your vibrations by elevating your awareness and bridging the science into spirituality. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about the autopilot mind. First of all, what it is, how it controls your reality, and how to break from it. So stay tuned. So the autopilot mind. First of all, before I get into it, let me first tell you that all the information that I've been getting about this and about about this and more videos that are to come will be from books by Dr. Joe Dispenza, The Law of One, The Raw Materials, Dolores Cannon, and I just couldn't help but find so many different sources of information that's talking about the same thing, and this is why I think it's important for me to share it with you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with the autopilot mind. So first of all, what is it? The autopilot mind is basically described as, in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I recommend that book as well. It's basically doing the same things every day, feeling the same things every day, and thinking the same things every day. And I would like to add as well, reacting to the same things every day. And what I mean by this is because what does autopilot mean to you? You know, we have Teslas out there basically driving themselves, right? So that's basically autopilot, or airplanes that go up in the air and then they put it on autopilot mode. So basically that machine, and this is a perfect analogy actually, because your body is actually known as a machine. So that machine is just going to its coordinates and just doing what it needs to do and reacting to its environment. That's exactly what the autopilot mind is. You know, when you're driving your regular car or whatever, I'm not sure if you own a Tesla, but if you do, kudos to you. And if you don't, well, you're just like me, where we have to actually, you know, drive our car and react to what's going on around us, you know. And, you know, living in LA, what happens a lot? People cut you off, right? So when that happens, what does the normal response is, or at least that would be considered the normal response. Oh man, like, why'd you do that for? You know, that's reacting to the autopilot mind. Or another example would be, you know, going to work, you know, on a Monday, you know, especially if you're already on a weekend, you're like, tomorrow I gotta go to work. You know, you're already feeling that heavy feeling that you don't want to go, especially if you don't like your job. You know, if you go into work feeling that way, what do you think your world is going to be like when you actually get there? You know, because you're actually reflecting your feeling to your reality, and that's how it controls your reality as well. Because Dr. Joe Dispenza shows that we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of those thoughts are recycled from the day before. So knowing that, would you react different today than you did yesterday? Or would you try to think different, feel different, and do different things today than you did a different day, or yesterday, or the day before that? Because every time there's a problem or a situation or a conflict that comes up in your mind, what is your body's response? You know, it's usually a negative response. You know, especially, you know, someone cutting you off on your freeway, or, you know, like the other day I had an experience where I went to Sky Zone with my girlfriend and her daughter, and it was actually a family party event, and we were waiting. And then if you've been to Sky Zone before, you know you have to fill out some type of contract on a computer saying that you won't get hurt, or if you do get hurt, you won't sue them. Basically, you know, it's the same old bullshit. But anyways, we were there, we were in line, and I wouldn't even say in line, it was like more spread out. We were just waiting behind a person that was on a computer, and then there was a guy there with his son waiting behind a person waiting for his computer as well. So our person in front of us got up, and we were about to go move in, and then the guy interrupts us and he goes, hey, you know, like, I was in line, you know. And then, but you see, like, there, he's very reactive, because first of all, he was impatient. So in his mind, you know, he had to react to the situation, because he at first thought he was in line. Secondly, he thought just because he was in line first, he needed to be, you know, getting in there for whatever reason. Like, it was really important, you know, for him to, you know, get this done as soon as possible, which it really wasn't the case, you know. So he really identified with his mind, or his body, or his ego self that time. And understand, as I talk through these channels or through these videos, I'll be using the avatar body and the ego self interchangeably. I reacted to that situation. I observed the situation, and I'll get into how it's controlling your life in a minute. But I observed the situation, and I said, you know, it's fine. You know, you can go ahead and take it. You know, it's really not a big deal. And you know, in a sense, you know, it's funny that reality plays with you this way. But as soon as he sat down, another person, the person he was waiting for, actually got up, and we got to sit on his computer, and we actually finished before he did. Not to make it like a competition or anything, because there's really nothing to compete for, but it just goes to show that you know, him reacting to his mind like that, like what made him think that he needed to do that, you know? Or you know, just in general, the autopilot mind, being reactive. A reactive mind is an ill mind, because, you know, you're not just you're not responding to your environment. You're reacting with past recordings of your life. And what I mean by that is, you know, especially when we're growing up through the ages 0 through, I would say, about 10 years old, our minds stay in a theta state. And what I mean by that is, our minds are basically like a sponge, and they always say that, you know, your kid is like absorbing everything, and it's the absolute truth, you know. Everything that you tell them that they learn throughout that lifetime, it's crucial, because it's being absorbed in their mind. So whatever you tell that kid, let's say for example, you're telling that kid that he's shy, you know, and you keep telling him, like, oh yeah, you know, that he's shy. As he grows up and grows older, he will have that reaction in his life. He will keep replaying that. So when he goes out into the world, he feel like he can't be himself. He has to be, you know, conservative. He has to be holding back to who he truly is, because in his mind, he has to be shy. Or another example, you know, if you tell your child, the other day we went to court, and the judge made a great point. The judge said that, you know, if you keep telling your child that, you know, it's not okay to go to your daddy or to go to your mommy, or that you shouldn't go, or whatever the case may be, if it's a negative thought placed in their mind, you're going to be absorbing that. So when they go to the other parent's place, they're going to feel that they can't feel happy while they're there. The judge also mentioned that when she ends up interviewing kids who are a lot older than my son, about 10 to 12 years old, a lot of times they tell the judge that, you know, they just wish their parents would not be, you know, fighting with each other. They don't want to feel like they have to make a choice. This goes to bring just to show you that, you know, having a reactive mind is not a healthy mind. It's a very ill mind, actually, you know, especially when you're going out into the world. You know, it's I don't know if you've seen like homeless people, like it looks like their mind is doing something all the time, you know, especially if they've been homeless for a while. They're always reacting to their environment. They're always angry. They're always this, they're always that, you know, and it happens all the time, and we just are not conscious of it. And it's crucial that we break out of it, you know. And that brings me to the second thing. How is controlling your reality? Well, just think about that. If you're thinking 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of those thoughts are being recycled, how do you think it's going to be controlling your reality today? Let's say yesterday you went through a breakup, you know. That breakup has been crucial, you know, like especially if it hurts you right in your heart, you know. Whatever happened for that breakup, whether your boyfriend cheated or your girlfriend cheated, whatever the case may be, that's going to be playing in your next day, and the next day after that, and the next day after that, because the thoughts that will be coming up all the time will be, oh, he hurt me, he did this, or she did this, whatever that case may be. That's what's going to be playing in your mind. So you can see how it can really, you know, create your reality. And let's say you end up, you know, moving on from that person. You have a new boyfriend now or a new girlfriend, and I'm guilty of this as well. So not to say that that I'm like, oh, like so awakened or some type of guru, or I'm like completely broken from the autopilot mind. That's another thing I want to bring up too, because if you're telling me today that you are not within the autopilot mind for whatever reason, it's going to be really hard for me to believe you, because even myself, and I'm not saying that you're better than me or whatever, and I'm not trying to make a competition at all. Again, this is not a competition. It's just factual. You know, even me myself, I get drenched in the autopilot mind a lot, you know, because we've reacted to that for a very, very long time. I'm now, you know, 28 years old and still reacting to my environment, you know, and I'm definitely working on it though. So which I encourage you to do as well. But yeah, so as you can see, if you're when you get your new boyfriend or new girlfriend or whatever, let's say that person in your past actually cheated on you. They went out with their homies or their girlfriends, and during that time, that cheating happened. Now, when you have your new boyfriend or new girlfriend, what's going to happen? You know, let's say your new girl or new boyfriend was be like, oh, you know what? I just want to go hang out with my friends real quick for a night. What will be playing in your mind? You see, whether it's like a few months down the line or a year down the line, you will probably still have that reaction from the past. And it will still play and play and play. And when you might even say like, yeah, go ahead, it's fine. But in the back of your mind, you'll still have that like, oh, you know, what if, you know, they're talking to someone else? What if someone's gonna approach them? Can I trust that person? That's gonna be in your mind. And you see those thoughts that you're having, those 60 to 70,000 thoughts are still playing, you know, that they're still being recycled even 6 to a year to a few years down the line. So how do we break free from this? You know, it's pretty harmful to the mind. And to break free from it, it's like trying to break free from the Matrix, basically. I don't know if you've seen the Matrix, but I'll tell you this: it's not just science fiction. It's not just a movie. It's actually a documentary. So watch it right now. I'm just kidding. Anyways, but to break free from it, how to break free from the autopilot mind. I'll just go ahead and say that it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of work. I'm still working on it right now. But what I came across to is finding out that meditation is crucial in actually achieving that. And you don't understand how big meditation is. It helps you, you know, sit down, you know, and you don't, there's plenty of forms of meditation. It doesn't have to be sitting down or whatever. There's also yoga meditation. There's all different types of meditation. I can't name them all right now, but there's plenty. But the meditations I like to do is basically sitting down and visualization meditation. And it's basically me just observing my thoughts, you know, getting to know who I really am. It's funny because we like to, you know, spend so much time with other people, you know, and get to know who they are, right? Like they go, oh, you know, let's go have a coffee next Thursday. Well, what time can you make? Oh, at 10 a.m. Great. Like I'll meet you there, you know, but we never make time for ourselves, you know, and I think that's crucial that we do that. You know, I don't mean time like, oh, you know, me spending some time in the gym or like, you know, putting some shots up or walking my dog or going for a run. That's not spending time with yourself. Spending time for who you truly are is sitting down, closing your eyes, and spending a few moments in your own mind. And just breathing. And just absorbing what type of thoughts actually come up in your mind. Once you learn how to meditate and visualize your thoughts, not visualize your thoughts, but observe your thoughts, not control it, because the more you try to control it, you create what is called excess potential. And excess potential is a term created in the book Reality Transurfing, which I'll talk about in later videos. But basically, you're creating resistance. So the more you try to control the situation, the more you create resistance. So if a negative thought comes up and you're like, oh no, don't think negative thoughts, don't think negative thoughts, don't think negative thoughts, what do you think is going to happen? More and more negative thoughts are going to be coming to your mind. So the key is to really observe what's coming about. You know, you see a negative thought, you don't have to react to it. You know, just let it go. And then the same thing with what happened with your ex or whatever may have happened. You know, observe the situation. You don't have to identify with it, and just let it go and move on. That's how you observe your mind and break free from the autopilot mind. Once you learn to observe your mind, or more so observe your mind, because it's going to take some time, and learn to really start to be choosing on what's self-fulfilling, you know, or letting go of what doesn't self-serve. You can then begin to start choosing the reality you want. And that's why I'm starting to make these videos for you, you know, to help you break away from the matrix that we live in today, and help you create the reality that you want, you know, through meditation, through doing the inner work. There's just so much more out there, you know. And in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, you'll learn that all parallel realities exist. So there's a you out there that is not living in the autopilot mind for one, and is living the life that you prefer to be in. Because once you start observing your thoughts, you can start choosing on where you want to be and how you want to be. You know, let's say that person who cut you off on the freeway, you know, you don't have to react to that. You just, okay, like, you'll feel it definitely, but just let it go. When you go into work, you hear someone talking bad about you, you can observe that and let it go. And the more you start choosing a more positive timeline, the more positive your life will be. It's kind of like a game, you know. How many times can I choose a positive timeline to place yourself more in a parallel reality that's more preferably to your liking? So then you start to realize your life is more dreamlike than it actually is. It's definitely a realization that once you break free from the illusion, you start to realize what life is really about, and how you can start choosing a more positive timeline. And we can do that as a collective. And the more we do that as a collective, we could control or create a more peaceful reality for all of us. I think that's it for today, guys. So just to recap everything, the autopilot mind, what the hell is it? Basically, it's your mind reacting to the same things you do every day, doing the same things that you do every day, feeling the same things you do every day, and reacting to the same things every day. You know, and it's controlling your realities, because all of this 60 to 70,000 thoughts that you think every day, 90% of that is recycled from the day before and created in the next, you know, in the next day. And to break free from it, meditation is crucial. But if you're able to observe every situation and consciously choose a more positive timeline that you prefer, then you're well on your way there. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this coming out, it's gonna get a lot more esoteric, guys. It's gonna get, I'm gonna start talking about quantum mechanics, Dolores Cannon, and just helping you break down the reality of how reality actually works, and that you've been living in an illusion this whole time. And again, bridging the science into spirituality, because you can't have one without the other. All right, so I'll see you guys next time. Thank you again.